Doctor Who is in purgatory. Despite the BBC claiming that the Time Lord will return, Disney be damned, there remains no indication of when that will happen, which individuals will be involved, or what the series will actually look like moving forward. This vortex of uncertainty comes directly in the midst of Russell T Davies' decidedly mixed second stint as showrunner, starring Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor. 2025 is, without doubt, the strangest time to be a Whovian since Doctor Who was cancelled in 1989, but it should really be the happiest. Doctor Who Season 15 ended by granting two wishes that viewers had been holding on to since the franchise resumed in 2005. RTD gave the people what they wanted, but the people seem a little bit indifferent, and that muted enthusiasm might just be a contributing factor toward Doctor Who Season 16's ambiguous status. RTD finally gave Doctor Who fans Omega and the Rani. Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor with his hands behind his back in Unit HQ. Omega was unquestionably among the biggest villains of Doctor Who's classic era. The tricky little Time Lord may not have enjoyed mainstream fame like the Daleks or Cybermen, nor the longevity of the Master, but Omega's antimatter shenanigans posed a threat like no villain before him. Lest we forget, it was Omega that first prompted multiple Doctors to team up in 1972's The Three Doctors. Despite a SOSO second coming during the Fifth Doctor's era, Doctor Who never properly capitalized on Omega's immense potential, leaving a big opportunity for the modern series to seize. With better production values and season-long arcs, Omega looked like the perfect big bad for New Who, yet he went strangely unused for an entire 20 years before Season 15's The Reality War. Doctor Who showed a similar reluctance to bring back another famous Time Lord enemy, the Rani. Brilliantly portrayed by Kate Amara, the Rani remains a clear highlight from the 6th and 7th Doctor years. Somehow, the BBC managed to burn through 4 separate iterations of the Master before finally getting around to her, although rights issues may have played a part in that absence. If you were to ride a TARDIS back to 2005, pluck a Doctor Who fan at random, then inform them that an episode 20 years into the future would involve the Rani reviving Omega, said fan would likely explode in a ball of excitement and knitted scarves. But something strange has happened. Not only is The Reality War far from troubling any top 10 modern episodes lists, the broader skepticism of creative direction that followed Stephen Moffat's exit has not eased. Doctor Who is ticking off the fandom's wishlist like the parent of a spoiled child at Christmas, but something isn't clicking. Doctor Who Season 15 got Omega really, really wrong. Omega as a skeleton in Doctor Who. One of the main reasons for wanting Omega in modern Doctor Who was seeing how the villain would look when the show's budget amounted to more than £5 and a bag of dreams. Perhaps that iconic metal helmet wouldn't look like it was pulled from a local scrapyard. Alas, Doctor Who didn't so much update Omega's design as shove it into a bubbling vat of CGI. The skeletal abomination that turned up in The Reality War took classic villain makeovers several bridges too far, and the script was forced to awkwardly explain that transformation. Having already rewritten his backstory to exclude the antimatter universe, this creature was Omega in name only. The worst changes, however, weren't cosmetic. To call Omega's role in Doctor Who Season 15 a cameo would be generous. It was a flying visit designed to fill in another villain's motivation, and little more. If the entire point of wanting Omega in modern Doctor Who was to draw upon neglected potential from the classic era, The Reality War fell at the first hurdle. Doctor Who muddled the Rani's long-awaited return. Anita Dobson as Mrs. Flood in Doctor Who looking at Archie Punjabi as the Rani. It's hard to find positives in Omega's comeback, but the same cannot be said for the Rani, whose own homecoming was a roaring success by comparison. Archie Punjabi, we'll get to Anita Dobson shortly, somehow managed to channel aspects of Amara's Rani while still stamping her own sinister authority on the character, mirroring how John Sims' Master simultaneously honored and evolved his own dastardly predecessors. I could have watched her insult people all season, and unlike Omega, Punjabi was given ample opportunity to shine with a finale built almost entirely around her. Despite being less obviously underwhelming than Omega, the Rani's impact was dampened by a myriad of narrative factors. The Rani was parachuted into Season 15 as an answer to Doctor Who's ongoing mystery over Mrs. Flood, a twist RTD confirmed, was kind of the plan almost from the beginning, via Doctor Who Unleashed. Even if Mrs. Flood was always destined to be the Rani, however, the reveal itself landed somewhat ungracefully. Big elements of the mystery, Mrs. Flood's ability to break the fourth wall being the most egregious, not only went unexplained, but were weirdly forgotten right after the Rani revelation. To accommodate the dual actors, Doctor Who also had to bring back the already controversial bi-generation gimmick far sooner than it should have, which meant the brilliant Anita Dobson would spend the rest of the season in her successor's shadow. Combine that with The Reality War, ignoring Susan, rushing Cutie Gatwa's regeneration, working around a morally questionable parenthood plot, and wheeling out Billie Piper again, it's clear that the Rani never really stood a chance, no matter how good she was. Where Doctor Who goes from here? Billie Piper regenerating in Doctor Who. The lesson from both Omega and the Rani is quite clear: Doctor Who Season 16 must simplify itself. In truth, this problem traces back to Stephen Moffat's tenure, where the twisty, tangled plot threads of Trenzalore, the Doctor's real name, the silence, and the cracks in time became almost indecipherable. You could sense Moffat course-correcting during Capaldi's infinitely more straightforward era, and I also maintain that Chris Chibnall's first season as showrunner was underrated, deserving more credit for its admirable attempt to debut new monsters. But then The Timeless Child happened, swiftly followed by Flux, a story that felt like doing an eye test while wearing someone else's spectacles. RTD took back the reins, but Doctor Who has been trying too hard ever since, almost striving to out-Who itself each season. Omega didn't need to be an MCU-level digital monstrosity. The Rani didn't need 2 whole seasons of build-up, just look at the far more streamlined Saxon mystery that preceded the Master's return. The Reality War, as a whole, didn't need both of those characters in addition to Susan, a regeneration, and a major companion angle.